was very shining. You were instrumental in giving rise to that, and also the pay parity that women cricket and men's cricket. Can you please tell us something about it and how this?
Firstly, I think thank you for having me here. Nimesh and Patrick come all the way from England. They must be surprised to see what they see in India, but that's what India is all about. And you asked about women, it's not just the word, it's a bit similar to what football is in their part of the world. And in terms of women's cricket, I think they've been fantastic. Yes, when I was in various administrative roles, I helped to set up structures for women's cricket, but the most credit should go to the players because they actually play. And I've seen the transformation from 2019 to 2025. The 6 years, the growth has been unbelievable. And all credit to Smriti, Harmanpreet, Richa, Deepti, Jemima, Shefali, and you take names, Charani, and I've seen them actually play in front of my eyes. I'm involved with the Delhi Capital, and last season I was in charge of the women's team, and I spent the whole tournament with them, and it was phenomenal to see what they do. And it's not just the women in India. If you see the women in Australia, the likes of Annabelle Sutherland, Meg Lanning, and Alyssa Haley, and Beth Mooney, and Ashley Gardner, they're unbelievable cricketers. South African cricketers, Woolbart, Madison Cap, you just name one after the other. There's so much of talent around the world. England stand shy of run. So women's cricket is on a different scale, and this is only going to go up. What is the happiest part of everything is the board, the cricket board. Obviously, I'm not involved with the BCCI. I'm the president of the Cricket Association of Bengal. The cricket board gives so much impetus and push to women's cricket. You see the structure in England, you see the structure in Australia, you see the structure in India. It's a great story for every young girl who wanting to grow up and play the sports. Career, it's a future, but you must remember that you all have to be very, very good to actually be a part of this system. So I'm so happy with the girls winning the World Cup. If you see my tweet at the start of the season, I don't know if any of you followed, and it's still on my Twitter handle. I quietly expected the Indian girls to win the competition. Obviously, I could not write it because it was just the beginning of the tournament, and you cannot predict the world champion. But I've seen them so closely, and they're so good that I'm not surprised with what I saw. Richa, we felicitated her on Saturday. She's just 22 years old, and she hits sixes like nobody's business. And the effort and the distance she clears is unbelievable. So it's such a happy state to be in. Cricket in India is on a different platform. Whether it's the boys, whether it's the girls, it just creates so much opportunities for young girls and young boys to make a career. And I think that's where Kabuni comes in. When Kabuni comes in with the equipment, with the technology, with the AI, they take coaching and help produce cricketers to the remotest parts of India. Sometimes you don't get the best help when you're growing up. Once you get to the top level, then you get all the best coaches, the best training facilities, the best matches, the best practice areas. But when you start at a young age, a young girl in the north of Bengal, a young boy in the north of Bengal or the south of Bengal can get hold of this application and learn the sport, and then come to the bigger systems to play, because the state bodies provide the infrastructure, provide the game time, provide the facilities to be a part of. And once you start getting used to this technology, you'll see that how far it takes your cricketing into.
And you left your investment boards to stand in front of students. They're also from not very privileged backgrounds, and you really know that mentoring can change a person's way of thinking and their outlook in life. How does Kabuni also take that into consideration?
So I was a maths teacher in an inner city school in London, and I already had admiration for teachers and coaches before I started, but then I realised when I started to work in a school, the impact that coaches and teachers can have on students is incredible. But you always need the relationship. The relationship that a teacher or a coach can have with a student is so important. But as a maths teacher, one thing I had was as well I could test them each week, so I could set them an exam. So I could really understand the things that they were missing, so I could really help them. So you have the relationship, then I had also the data. Where Kabuni can play a massive part in coaching is it can do what a maths teacher has with a test. It can give them all the data they need. So imagine you have a coach who has a great relationship with his students, but imagine now he's actually receiving all the data that he needs to be able to not just help him from the technical side, but give him more time as well to focus on that sort of the leadership and mental aspects that are so important.
Just mic.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, loud and clear.
Yeah. So Vinny, I've got 4 children, 3 girls, 1 boy. Mackenzie, my daughter, played cricket for Surrey County till the age of 16, and she had trials in Canada to play for the Canadian national team. And the journey of her cricket career, I think we still have a lot to offer female cricketers, their biomechanics, how they train and learn. And I don't think there's enough coaches in the world that can actually deliver the coaching the way Kabuni can. So ultimately, you know, female sports, and with cricket, I think Kabuni can play a pivotal role in helping young girls learn the game and be confident learning with a companion device and software that we provide to young girls.
So is it going to be different for men, different for women, or is it just cricket? So it's going to be the same for everybody, isn't it?
I think the biomechanics between boys and girls are different in the way they actually not play, but the way they actually grow up and learn to play the sport. So understanding that through AI, I think is going to be more powerful than just thinking everything's the same for everyone.
Thank you. That.
And there were positives and negatives. If there isn't a single person today that's not using the internet, and if they were, they would survive. AI will not replace coaches or anybody. Somebody who learns how to use AI can get replaced. So my advice to not just coaches, but to everyone in this room and even the country, is learning how AI applies to your life, your skill, your job, I think is the most critical thing for society today.
Brilliant. So I'm just seeing it as an add-on to all the coaching around the world, isn't it?
Absolutely.
To a certain extent, for your biometrics as well. What it does, and you get to see yourself, you get to compare yourself, what she wanted to spin it or whatever. I mean, you get to spin it or whatever, you to spin it and see where your body positions are in the correct way.
That's correct.
How many can play the string right into the plane? But others also found a way to scope it. And I think that's what this technology will do. It will make you understand where you are, what your body positions are, how much you need, how much you can get better to emulate the best and get to a position where you perform. I hope I'm correct.
Yeah, and just to expand on that, that the thing that we do when we look at the biomechanics of the player, we don't turn a boomerang into a Cummings or a Steve Smith into a Joe Root. We match the style of the player first, and then we look at the technical differences to effectively coach them.
So it's a
खेल सकते हैं कि नहीं मैंने सिर्फ उसको कहा कि एक रिजिड से शुरू करिए रोज सुबह आके 10 चक्कर भागिए इसके बाद बैटिंग बॉलिंग आसान हो जाएगा इसके बाद वो करना चाहते हैं कि नहीं आप पूछिए
फीडबैक कोशिश करेंगे जरूर अगर कंपनी बोले तो
कबूनी बोले तो दादा बोल रहे जो
ये नहीं बोलनी चाहिए हाँ हाँ तब खेला তোমার বক্তব্য দাদার দিকে তাকিয়ে খুব খুশি তাদের মেয়েদের ক্লাস থেকে দেখেছি আরো এগোবে দাদা একটু এদিকে তাকিয়ে শুরু হবার আগে যারা এত কিছু বলে দেখা উচিত শুরুর আগে কারণ আমি এদের কাছ থেকে একটা ইন্টারভিউ একটু সামান্য জিনিস তুলে আগে কিছু না দাদা ইন্ডিয়ান ক্রিকেট ম্যাচ এদিকে তাকিয়ে বলো Captain India remarkably in England, the young boy going to England, not easy. So he good reasons to it. And he's an all for and a fantastic.